Editing a room for a unit reporting sponsored research. Again, I'm going to edit room 4052. Currently, this room is organized research and it has a PI and a grant left over from the FY16 space survey. I'm going to click edit. This room was used as a research laboratory computer lab. However, I'm going to change the room to a resource room. That's what it's currently being used for in FY17. I'm going to change the utilization to 80% organized research and 20% university research. The PI and grant listed on the right are from the FY16 survey. If they no longer apply, I can remove the PI and I can select a new PI or several PIs using the control button on the left side of your keyboard. If you don't see the PI listed in the list, you can search for them and hit the move button to bring them into your assigned PIs. Again, this grant on the right is left over in our database from the FY16 space survey. If it no longer applies, you can remove it and do a multiple list of grants using the control button. Now this is a fantastic feature because there are often quite a few grants. I'm randomly picking a bunch of them and moving them over to the assigned grant side. Again, if you don't see the grant you have in this upper list, you can select it from the other grants and move it over. I'm done now, and I'm going to click Save. You can see that the room is now edited, and it has changed color, and it has 4 PIs and 4 grants. Now the room type stays the same. You cannot change that. The room use has changed. At any time you wish to get a definition of the room use or room type, you just click on that button and you'll get a full list and description of the room uses or room types. Let's go back over to the survey and go ahead and edit another room. I'm going to edit this next room. Again, I search for the room. Now in this case, I'm going to edit the room, and I pretty much know all the grants that I listed, and the PIs and the utilization are exactly the same as before. This copy feature over here, select a room to copy the information from. I'm going to copy from 4052 and hit copy. Will allow you to edit this room very quickly. I'm not going to change the room use, it's the same. However, I want to copy all the utilization, the PIs, and the grants that I selected in room 4052. So I selected room 4052 and click copy those over, and it does override everything in the right hand side. So if there are any PI or grant information from the FY16 survey, it will be overridden. So now I save at the bottom. If you wish to go back and edit this room again, maybe there were a couple of PIs that did not apply or a couple of grants that didn't apply from 4052, you do have to save it and re-edit that room. So I pulled over all this information but 4052, but I just want to take out one PI, and I move it over to the left, and the grant associated with the PI to make that room edit correctly. So the rooms don't match anymore because I re-edited the room, the new room, but this allowed me to get 90% of what I wanted pulled over and go back and edit out the few items that didn't apply. At any time during the space survey, you can go back and undo your changes with the undo button here and under actions. Scrolling down to the very bottom, I go back to the buildings list here on the right hand side, and I want to view the rooms I edited so far. So I click the View Print All Rooms button. Make sure your pop-up blocker is disabled. And there are the two rooms I edited, the 4052 and the 4065C. So and there's one room that I edited, and I can undo this, 4052. I meant to edit 4065A. So instead of going back and starting all over again, I'm able to copy the information. You go into edit 4065A. I'm able to copy the information from 4052 and delete, and then I hit save, and I can delete the information from 4065C by undoing. When you're finished editing for the day, you should save down at the bottom. You go back to buildings and you hit save and exit. All of your changes will be there the next time that you log back into the space survey. When you're finished with the survey altogether, then you will do submit updates, and that will be covered in another section of the video presentation.